lot of very different performances that hopefully will bring us to the top level of our competition.
All right, so let's get started here. KAGENDRA is going to be on the blue side, so they get prio pick. At the same time, Team HAQ on the red side. Now, do be reminded, we are practicing something called the global ban pick. You pick the hero once, you will not be able to use it for the rest of the series since it's a best of 5.
The first round of bans and picks are coming up. The Ogren is going to be taken out of the table from KAGENDRA, and Tricha is going to be taken out of the table from Team HAQ. Yesterday, the Tricha was so participate in the BP. It was very frequent for us to see the Tricha either being banned or being picked yesterday from day one. One of those heroes that people do not want to be facing.
For good reason, right? Tricha is one of those heroes where once you run out of CC, she is practically unstoppable. And she has great sustain as well. Once she hits that final form, it's going to be a big problem. Now, Team HAQ, I like this respect going in for the side of Fei. They actually took out his Tigress Pay. But KAGENDRA, they start off the Mai, Fire Ninja.
Come on, do your best.
Very good. Just yesterday, they might had very good performances as well, right? One of those top 5 heroes that were picked yesterday. Mai just allows you to have the burst damage. And we've been seeing that since yesterday's performances, having the Mai allows you for mobility. And that mobility has been key in our tournament right now.
Yes, and you know, with the ability to steal camps really early on, the power spike in the early game is something that KAGENDRA wants to rely on. But one of the solutions that Team HAQ can really take a look at is Mega Tanks, right? KAGENDRA, they're gonna look in for the Featherfoot here, the Fade. I think we had a pretty good showing of Fade yesterday as a hero across the teams that have picked him. Let's see if this trend continues today.
Yesterday we saw that Fade coming in that first game. And I remember that for KAGENDRA, yesterday when they were actually playing against Dominator, they wanted to really focus a lot on what Fade could do. And Fade could be actually one of those options that could allow them just to put the spotlight on him.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the ability to JD fire any member within range and get the insta-kill, that is a very useful tool. And like we talked about before, Team HAQ here, looking for that Flowborn tank, Peaceful Feast here, going to be a great answer, right? Because you can't really burn him down too fast.
Flowborn tank yesterday had a lot of very good performances as well. One of the beautiful things about the Flowborn tank is just the ability to be able to initiate multiple times consecutively, just being able to knock back your opponents.
Yes, and it's a very useful tool, right? We've seen teams use the diversity of it, right? In terms of the roam, we have like the Da Chao Lantern Light, where you get the TP back home, the second skill. But Team HAQ wants to go for a more aggressive approach here. With the Bond Weaver, the idea is going to be able to provide the heals. My concern now, if KAGENDRA does not position right, they might get wiped out immediately.
The positioning right now, that Team HAQ knows that right now they need to target on that channel. That's why Tramfei and Lapu Lapu just completely banned out. It's going to force that channel just to get a roamer or a support that might not provide that much vision. And we know that the channel needs time to actually get his damage online.
For sure. And my concern now is KAGENDRA, where is the sustain? Where is the tank, right? Because they have damage on hand, but then this also means if they get caught out by Team HAQ, now there is a board master, the I Ching, one of my personal favorites. Once the board gets laid down, they're caught inside, I think it's done deal.
I think that every single time that we have played together, Kin, I think that you have been playing that I Ching every single time. It is literally your favorite.
It is. It truly is. Because I know what it's like to catch people on the board. You get that very nice combination of your first and second skills. And you know what? It would have been great if the Dharma was in the hands of Team HAQ. But KAGENDRA knows better. Coach Reflect knows better. They pick it for themselves along with the Morton Peacekeeper.
Now that puts Team HAQ in a very big trouble, right? Because right now, in terms of Clash Lane, right now there's nothing that could be a really good option in there. Guan Yu, it is meta right now, but the problem is that you've got the Kachusans coming in from the Mai, you have the Cannon Blast coming in from the mods, and so there's a lot of options that could slow down that Guan Yu, and we know that Guan Yu does not want to be slowed down.
For sure. And KAGENDRA, for KAGENDRA, the fight starts even before Team HAQ enters within range, right? There's so much poke. They have the lupine traps by the pack leader. They have the cannon blast by the peacekeeper. And like you said, the Kachosans coming in from the fire ninja. These are all big poke abilities. And Team HAQ, even before the fight starts, they might be low already.
Well, this table has been set. We have already locked in what the heroes are going to be for this first game of our match number 4 of the tournament. Remember that this is going to be best of 5, right? You do not have a lot of pressure over here in this first game, but at the same time, losing here might put you on your back heel for the rest of the series.
Agree, because we have some pretty big picks here, right? The Warsane, Guan Yu here already picked up. The Parasolar, one of the stock standard picks we've seen from across the board for all teams, because she's so mobile, she has a lot of burst potential in the late parts of the game. This is something that is going to cost Team HAQ if they do not take this game.
From what I saw yesterday, the Arlie had a very good time yesterday in her matchups against the channel. So what different can Team HAQ do right now to continue doing that? Because I know that the channel has been extremely favorable pick, and the fact that for Arlie she needs to really just be dealing damage into one single objective. In terms of the laning stage, it might give the advantage to channel. What do you think?
Definitely will, right? Up until the point where the farm laner on the side of Team HAQ, Lola here, gets that first lightning charge, right? Once he gets the massive magic damage coming in, multi-target attacks, that is where Team HAQ can really shine.
I can see right now the mid laners in here just having a very important role to play. We know that mid lane might not be the most important lane right now at this moment of the game because of the damage they can deal, but the rotations are going to be critical. Well, this is going to be our first game of the day. We're going to have KAGENDRA on the blue side, and we're going to have Team HAQ on the red side.
All right, so we start off with the usual here once again. If you have not attended the event, Jakarta Assemble, in the game as well, you can actually vote for your teams and get some amazing rewards by making sure that you add on, support your team in the game as well. All you have to do is to claim those event points. It will be popped up on the right-hand side of the screen.
KAGENDRA with a very clear opening right over here, right? They can take the Fire HOK, and right now the initiation over here, like the 3-man rotation, and they will be able to just cut in that one more resource.
Yep. So it actually slows down the farm of Lola. Nuonor was the one that actually got that camp. Now Zan is going to make sure that he gets his own, so this is going to be a slight advantage going to the side of KAGENDRA. A nice start for now. No big action, no rush.
Look at that. The rotations from Team HAQ just showed you that they do have that communication. They do have that synergy. They know that they need to help the Flowborn to very quickly start to farm. So the 3-people rotation helping him clean up the jungle, it's a very big tactic.
That's true, because if Vi is unable to tank, then they don't really have that survivability that they need on side of Team HAQ. At the same time, KAGENDRA, you know that they see this overnight, so they're going for the pokes down here, but it's not looking good for Lola. The heals will come in from Nuonor for the time being, but KAGENDRA looks like this farm lane is going very well in their favor.
Yeah, we said that the channel was going to have the opportunity, right? Well, before we keep going on with the game, remember the CD key for today is going to be Sunblaze. Sunblaze, if you want those 50 Dragon Crystals, please go in there and then use Sunblaze as the first CD key. Our second one is going to be Flare Up. Flare Up is going to be our second CD key. If you want to join the game, go in and get that 1,000 experience.
Yes, very important. Get the rewards as well, right? Honor Pass, we have so many things in store for the Honor Pass, so you definitely need to get your rewards here with the extra 1,000 EXP. Now, I want to put some focus onto this playstyle by KAGENDRA. They have left the Clash laners alone and put a lot of pressure onto Lola. This tells me that KAGENDRA puts a lot of faith that Saule is going to win that 1v1.
Well, Saule can win. If he cannot win it, he can still stall, right? And that's going to be still a win for them. He does not even need to win that matchup. He just needs to keep Guan Yu over there. As long as Solid with the Dharma can keep Guan Yu there and the 4v4, it is a lot better for KAGENDRA than it could be for Team HAQ.
I like this time here. 3 minutes in. This is the time you want to force the flashes or the common spells out of your opponents. So Team HAQ here, Lola needs to know that something is going on because there's no one else showing on the side of KAGENDRA.
Exactly. If you paid attention to Senku with that Mashinonui, he was just waiting for the right angle, but the opportunity just completely disappeared. Now it's going to be a 4 against 2 right over here, Ken.
It's going to be first blood going to the side of Team HAQ though, and they will get the punish. So KAGENDRA, they get the better of this exchange. Lola with the fall. Once your farm laner falls as a Parasola, this is not good news. KAGENDRA win big.
Yeah, KAGENDRA wins big. It's a 2-1 trade for them. Even though Team HAQ just took that first blood, but at the same time, KAGENDRA responded with a double kill in there. Now, that puts them in the moment of the 4 minutes. The Fade makes the rotation. Immediately, Facer is going to take this Tyrant for his team.
I mean, this is why you pick him, right? He is essentially a soft guarantee. You get all these neutral objectives. As long as Facer does not fall when he uses his ultimate, it is a guaranteed take for the side of KAGENDRA.
Team HAQ right now a little bit the back foot. It's going to be already a 1,000 gold advantage for Team KAGENDRA. So Team HAQ, on the other hand, they need to start thinking about just starting to make some moves. Look at how the Guan Yu has already been released from the Clash lane. The E scene is going to set the board, but nothing that they can do to capitalize out of that all.
I think KAGENDRA definitely have learned from yesterday, right? They make this very conscious choice, allowing Zan as well as Lu to take a little bit of risk. But in exchange, they take the T1 at the top, and right now they secure themselves over 1,000 worth of gold lead.
Well, right now, we can see that KAGENDRA has control over the waves, and they start just putting pressure over here to the mid lane. It's taking almost 50%. Look at that, kid.
Yeah, but it's not going to look good. At this point, they will try for the run and buy. The tank for the team will take a fall. T1 as well. KAGENDRA looks so strong.
5 minutes losing your mid lane turret. That is bad news for Team HAQ. That is not a trade that they wanted to do. They were extremely focused over there on the bottom lane, but then after that, losing their mid lane turret, that is going to be bad news for them.
It is definitely not good news at all. And bear in mind that the anti-heal properties have already started set in for both sides. KAGENDRA Senko already has the Venomous Staff. This is going to aid in that dwindling of healing from the side of Nono on this idea.
We're moving into 6 minutes of the game right now. KAGENDRA's just showing that they have a better preparation. We were wondering if Team HAQ was ready for this contest. And in these first 6 minutes, we have not yet been able to see them just actually taking control of the game. Do you think that is the nerves that are kicking in, or what is going on right now?
I think it's really just the nerves at this point, right? But now with the gold advantage going very strongly to the side of KAGENDRA, we were asking before, right? As the team composition on KAGENDRA, do they have enough tankiness? Looks like this hybrid build by the side of Facial with the Frostguard Embrace is going to provide a lot of value. Not only does he get that insane amount of defense, he also has extra frost damage coming in every time he uses a skill.
Extra frost damage and the slowdown that's going to deal. It's going to look really good for Facer as the time and the clock just keeps passing. Look at the rotations here coming in from KAGENDRA. They have vision and they have information on the whole location of all the Team HAQ members. Senku waiting in there in the brush. He's setting up for the Kishuzi.
Yep, nice knockup with the passive activated as well. Can they get the finish on the job here? Killing spree for the side of Facial. They're looking for more. The T2 is up, but they don't care. KAGENDRA, here comes the save though from the side of John. He could change the entire game here with that catch itself. For now, nobody falls on the side of KAGENDRA, and it's looking like IKL will dominate 6-1. T2 as the next reward for KAGENDRA.
KAGENDRA coming in, dealing damage, and they mean business. They thought that they could have the movement around. Team HAQ did not know that Senku was waiting in the brush just to initiate this horrendous battle for them.
Totally caught off guard, right? So, Isaac, let's break down this past fight.
Look at that, just the Kachusen comes in and then Mai Shiranui in the exact perfect moment. Man's box comes in a little bit too late. It's not going to be enough. The Guan Yu comes in to try to help out, but it was Facer just dealing damage. Nothing that anyone could have done against that.
Yeah, the biggest issue was the fact that Zhang was just left all alone. They had to deal with the other members.
Yeah.
Facer, this hybrid build is working wonders for the side of KAGENDRA.
8 minutes of the game right now, we can see that the minion waves are going to start clashing in. The pressure is right now going to turn into the high ground. The high ground is going to be the next objective. KAGENDRA is right now completely in control of the game, cleaning up the waves, and right now the high ground turret is going to be the next objective.
Alright, this is a defensive ball from the side of Man. But, you know, KAGENDRA has already done the tough work. John, he is left in no man's land. He's running away. He's trying to run away for his life, but it's not going to happen. A killing spree for the side of Senko as KAGENDRA adds on to the pain for Team HAQ.
John tried to come around and he was spotted by Facer. Facer is going to take that 1v1, knowing that with his build right now, there's no way that Guan Yu could have run away. Completely slowed down. It looked like he was moving in slow motion.
Yeah, I like this build from the side of Facer, right? Not only does he have the anti-heal properties from the Grazing Cape, he also has the extra damage from the Frost Guard Brace. So he is tanky, he does have damage, and right now, Team HAQ, because they're about, what, 7,000 gold behind, this is not ideal. They have to try and drag the game.
Drag the game? Can they even drag this? Can they protect their high ground turrets over here with this minion wave? The first one is going to clash against the mid lane, and there is nothing that they can do. As we can see, the turret just going 50% HP.
Yeah, right now, if you take a look at what Man is doing on the Yixing as the board master, he's trying to land those balls to make sure that they get the catch and potentially win that team fight. But right now, it's just a defensive option. There is no aggression behind it.
No, there's nothing that they can do right now. We're gonna have 3 more seconds until the Overlord and the Tyrant are going to be enhanced. Right now, cannons are gonna come in. Team HAQ needs to pray to try to get something out of this. But KAGENDRA is gonna respond with a double dragon attack.
Yeah, this is what I love about pro plays, right? Especially when you get the double objective take. This is a finishing blow that most teams will find success in. Now, Team HAQ, John, he does not want to show himself at this point.
No. Like showing up right over there in a 1v2. What is he thinking about? There's nothing that he can actually do against it. And that's the problem, right? Because right now, the problem about this is that the Guan Yu in here is going to be of very few help for them to actually be able to protect their high ground turrets. One of them is going to fall, the next one is going to follow as well, and it's going to be only the Clash Lane turret that is going to survive.
And you talked about this long-range poke that KAGENDRA has, right? They're putting it to full use at this point. Now, John is going to try his best to cut the waves, but that's where Saole comes in, right? He already catches eyes onto John. He doesn't have to commit anything. He has the full kit. It's all about just making sure he does not come back for the 5v5. Right now, KAGENDRA looking for an open.
Looking for an opening right now. The problem is that Guan Yu is coming in from behind. He jumps in, but it's not going to be enough, Kin.
Yep, it's not going to be enough. They do get 1 kill, but Man falls in return as well. Zan, there is not enough damage for the time being, but KAGENDRA, if they get a nice setup from the side of the team, it's going to be success. Game number 1 could go into the hands, but the pushback from Team HAQ is going to be successful for the time being. KAGENDRA needs a little bit more time.
It's still more bangers coming in from the mid lane and from the bottom lane, as well as the fight goes one more time.
Yep, they locked the members on the side of KAGENDRA, and Saole is the first to fall. Zan is going to be coming up in the next 5 seconds. KAGENDRA feels the risk is too much. They will back off.
Losing Zan so early right over there in that high ground attack, it was the reason why right now Team HAQ is still alive. The problem of losing the channel is that you lose a little bit of the damage and then you're just going in with melee attacks. Well, right now Team HAQ, they were able to survive that double dragon. Let's see what KAGENDRA wants to do right now. They have full control over the resources, but do they want to push or do they want to wait for the next Overlord?
I think it's safer to get that secondary overlord, especially if it's shadow overlord. But right now, John, not the same here. Zan gets the finishing blow onto him. As Team HAQ now find themselves in a 4v5. The flank is coming from the side of FaZe. Jumps, leaps through the walls, looking for the opening. Just a bait at this point. With the ball being laid down as well, they can't find the opening. KAGENDRA see a chance. They want to get the finish. Zan will be the one to make that happen. As Team HAQ get completely destroyed. Nice catch by the side of Saule as well. And this is looking like game number 1 goes to IKL's past champions, KAGENDRA.
The triple kill is going to seal the deal, and this is going to be KAGENDRA taking the victory. Congratulations to them. A 1-0 advantage in this best of 5. Congratulations to KAGENDRA.
Yep, beautiful work here. And we talked about the synergy, right, earlier today, right as the broadcast started. Have they found their footing? Have they found their chemistry? I think the answer is yes.
Yeah, of course. Like, I do believe that right now, this performance, I wouldn't even dare to say that it's better than yesterday, because yesterday they did not play badly. They did not play that bad. They did actually play really okay. The problem was that they were unable to just seal the deal. This time around, it's completely different. They are actually being able to seal the deal. They come in, they execute properly, and they were able just to finish with the last punch. So KAGENDRA today just fixing the little mistakes that they had yesterday.
It really is KAGENDRA's game, right? At this point, Team HAQ, I think the draft was okay, but there was quite a bit of damage lacking, right? Simply because Lola had no space. There were no options to explore. Man, as the Yixing on that board master, couldn't find any boards at all.
One of the issues in here as well comes down to the VP, right? Like the way that they are forced into playing that Guan Yu in a composition where KAGENDRA had already had all of the poke abilities that they needed. That's why the Guan Yu is unable to initiate anything in any moment. In the moment that Guan Yu wants to really start the fight, when it wants to really start to speed up, it's being slowed down by the poking ability coming in from KAGENDRA.
Yeah, quite a bit of pokes coming in, and not only are they giving damage, it's the stuns that are coming in from the side of the Mortar Peacekeeper. That really was a huge issue, because not only were you unable to get the boards, you're stopping the Guan Yu, the War Saint, from coming into the prime positions. And to complement this, I really like the fact that FaZe went for a hybrid build. Get the Rapacious Bite, yes, damage as the jungle item, but you complement it with tank, so you don't dive too heavily and get your life taken away.
Beautiful performance in here from him, right? Like, it was being able to make the right decisions in terms of items. We saw that FaZe on that fade with a 6-0 and 6 for the KDA. He just came in, dealt the damage, got the kills, and then just run away immediately.
Yep, I like the answer on the itemization, right? The Demon's Bane, beautiful work to make sure that he is able to handle the damage coming from both Nono as well as Man. At the same time, with the physical attributes on the side of the Blood Rage, he has more health, so the Blood Rage helps him get more damage done based on his health as well.
From Team HAQ, I see the biggest issue in here was they're not very familiar to how to fight a team like KAGENDRA. I do not know in their preseason if they had opportunities to scrim to this high level, but what I'm seeing right now is that Team HAQ came in with a very monotonous approach to what the game is. They came in, they read the books, they were trying to really try to help out by just to build up more items early on, but then after that, in the moment that KAGENDRA tossed a question at them, it didn't feel like they had the knowledge to actually answer back.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you take a look at the idea behind the draft, I think Team HAQ, the idea was there, right? Bai as the mega tank, he's supposed to be able to soak up all the damage that KAGENDRA is able to deal. But if you take a look at the goal difference here, that big spike starting at about the 4.5 minute mark, Bai was behind his counterpart FaZe by close to 4,000 gold. That's one whole item away.
One whole item away onto the fade into the IKL champions. It is a difficult feat. There is nothing that they could have done differently. I do believe that if they could have bought a better composition for their heroes, if they would be able to actually get a Byron, for example, instead of that Guan Yu, maybe they could have done something different. Because if you analyze here, just when you see the map, Sole had a very big advantage in the most important elements when you're looking at Clash. You're looking for assist, you're looking in for damage, you're looking for gold per minute. All of those areas, he was having a better performance than John.
Yes, and based on the common spells as well, the kit given by both of the Clash laners really was the difference maker, right? For KAGENDRA, they had plenty of angles to set up from. From Team HAQ, you only had that few. You either get by the dive in, and hopefully the team follows up with Man's board, and hopefully the catch by John as well. All of which you can predict, you can see. But for Saule, it's completely different. He has the flash truth mantra. You will not see him. By the time you see him, his truth mantra is already on the multiple members on the side of Team HAQ. You are gone.
Senku and Zan's performances in there, as you analyze the data, tells you that those were the openers for KAGENDRA to actually be able to win this game. When you see the biggest difference in terms of the one-to-one, the head-to-head with their counterparts, those two players really built the opening for FaZe to come in and deal the damage.
Yes, if you take a look at that singular situation, singular fights, you will actually find out that there are very different perspectives on this. And of course, the well-deserved MVP FaZe recovering from yesterday, showing a very strong performance in this game number 1. Did not fall a single time, 6-0-6.
Perfect performance by FaZe. Really glad to see that yesterday's loss did not have a negative impact onto his mindset. He comes in, first game, forget about what happened yesterday. I am here to demonstrate what I am made of. Let's look at the replays and the highlights from this first game. There were some moments in here, like even though Team HAQ takes the first blood in this one, but they end up just paying with their lives.
If you take a look at the difference here between the POVs of Lola and Zan specifically, Lola is always looking at the first person in line of sight, right? He wants to make sure that he gets rid of that person. But then the follow-up comes in, Saule comes in, FaZe comes in, suddenly there are too many targets. And Lola as a Parasola, you are a single target damage-based hero. You can't deal with too many people at one time.
Of course, that's why the early yesterday I was discussing with Sagi about, like, is it really the monstrous hero that we were used to see in previous tournaments? We were questioning that. Yesterday there were a lot of players that they decided to play it. It played really well, but in this performance, you start seeing actually the shortcomings of a hero like Arlie.
Yes, for sure. And the main difference here is that KAGENDRA has always made sure that they kind of divide and conquer, right? They serve singular players on the side of Team HAQ on a plate for Zan. Zan is always free to do whatever he wants because the rest of the side of Team HAQ has to focus on the other members of KAGENDRA.